Welcome to our Doo Wop Journey. Hi, I'm Rob Albanese, president of Lahr Enterprises, producer and promoter of doo wop music throughout the United States. Let me introduce you to our host for our journey, Mr. Cool Bobby B from Sirius XM Radio, 50s on 5.
Thanks, Rob, and welcome to a great show. We're going to take you on a fantastic doo-wop journey with some great interviews and some great music. Let's get things started. We're excited to be here with author, composer, record producer, record company executive and owner, and performer, Gerry Granahan. It's so great to be with you.
Good to be with you.
And it's great to see you out performing. You having a good time tonight?
I'm having a blast.
Of all the stories, and gosh, you've written and produced so many different records, what's the one record that stands out in your mind?
And the one that was the biggest in my career was probably Carry Me, Jane Americans
Right.
that I produced. And there were a couple that broke my heart. Ray Pollard with a song called The Drifter. Mm-hmm. And a girl, an English girl named Samantha Jones with a song that I did with her. Those are the three that really stand out. You know, the stuff I did myself doesn't excite me.
Well, I don't know. I mean, one thing you did tonight that was spectacular that I have never heard in person ever was you with Dickie Doo and the Don'ts. Do people know that was you?
I think a lot of people, the stories have been out. There's been so many people writing, about artists that are out there, and they know. I don't understand how people know where I came from, where I was born. Somebody put my age in as, I don't know what it was, some numbers, and boy, before you know it, 200 people wrote in and said, "That's not how old he is."
That's great.
Yeah.
Where do you live right now?
Right now, I'm in New England, in Rhode Island.
And where did you originally start out?
Originally, I started out in Pennsylvania.
And how did you get the name of the group? I know you performed backup for a lot of groups besides the records you produced and wrote and so forth. But where'd you come up with Dickie Doo and the Don'ts?
I did. That was I was doing American Bandstand with the song that I had on Atlantic. Mm-hmm. And before I did that, I wrote the song and went in and did a demo, which I thought was just going to be a demo. But the engineer was so enthralled with what I was doing, he said, keep going. I kept putting more voices on and more voices. Right. And then all of a sudden, we started fooling around with little things. I sped up the guitar solo,
right.
Just crazy stuff. So when I played it when I did a bandstand, I said to Dick, listen to this. And he listened to it, and then he went on the phone, and he was talking, I guess, to his kid.
Yeah.
And he was Dickie doing this, and Dickie Doo, Dickie Doo, Dickie Doo. And when he hung up, he goes, "That's a good name for you, Dickie Doo." I said, "Get out! You got to be kidding me, man! How about the Platters or something?"
How about anything?
Anything,
right.
anything. But and then Tony Mammarella, who was Dick's producer, said, "How about Dickie Doo and the Don'ts?" Dick said, "That's it." What are you going to say? No to Dick Clark?
And that came out on Swan Records, which was their label.
Was Swan Records? Yep.
That's great.
We had the first hit on Swan.
I know my mom used to stop me from going around the house going, nee, nee, na, 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 na.
We were supposed to open with that tonight, but we didn't get the music to the guys fast enough.
I still have the record. I mean, I love that record. Yeah. It's just an honor to be with you, and I hope we get a chance to see you again sometime.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Okay.
And the wheels go, ba-da-da-da, click-clack, click-clack, boom-ba-da-da, boom-ba-da-da, every click-clack brings me close to you.
We're very excited to have the Capris with us today on our Doo Wop journey. And I'm going to ask you a little bit about the beginning of your journey, because it's always been interesting to me, the story that I've heard, and I want to see if it's true, that you guys cut a record, the record kind of disappeared, and then you came back to life because of a record collector. Frank, can you tell us what happened?
Yes, definitely. We recorded that song like in 1958.
The song was?
There's Moon Out Tonight.
Right.
On Planet Records. And, it came out really good. We thought we had a shot, but the record company really didn't push it. They didn't do anything. It just died. It laid in, on the shelf somewhere. And Times Square Records, there was a gentleman named Gerry Green. He was young, about 16, 17 years old at the time. He happens to see the record on Planet. He plays, he says, wow, this is a great song. He says, I'm going to try to get it going. So what he did, he made his own label, Lost Night. And he happens to get it played on Alan Frederick's show.
Gotcha.
And a young kid like that, and he had the juice to get it on the radio.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, when Alan played it, then other stations started picking it up. And he started getting a lot of calls for the record, but he couldn't handle it. So he turned it over to Old Town Records, High Weiss, who had national distribution, of course. And, he sent it out all over the country and became a big hit. That was it.
You're talking about a span of a couple years. Was the group still together?
No, we broke up. That was it. We just, that's it. We'll go our separate ways, whatever. All of a sudden, we turn on the radio, and there's a Moon Out Tonight is playing. Wow, what happened? All of a sudden, everybody got on the phones, start calling each other. Wow, we got to get back. So finally, we got back together. And we got a manager. High Weiss got us a manager, and we signed with High Weiss. And that was it. We did a lot of other recordings for Old Town, but they never really were as big as.
There's a couple I really love, like Where I Fell in Love. Some people think
there were some good songs.
Those are great records.
Yeah.
And others, we won't talk about all of them.
Right.
But then the weird thing is, back at the end of the 1970s or the early 1980s.
Early 80s.
You guys came back. What happened?
Well, that was a gentleman named Marty Picard. He had a record label, Ambient Records. He decided to record like 5 doo-wop groups. The Capris, Randy and the Rainbows, the Harptones, the Mystics.
The Jive 5.
And the Jive 5. And he did an album of each group. He did each group, and a lot of the records came out good. But on that album we did, Nick, original lead singer, was a great songwriter. He wrote 7 songs on that album. And one of the songs happened to be Morse Code of Love.
Right.
We had that song back in 1960, but he never finished it.
Gotcha.
He finally finished it when we had to do the album. And from then on, it sort of became like a cult hit for us, and that was that.
It's one of the biggest doo-wop records still.
I know. That was flabbergasted. They played it all over the country. They played it in Canada, all over, And Dick Clark even played on American Bandstand.
Right.
We'll rate the record.
Yep.
And it rated a 93. He says,
It's
oh,
great.
man, we're in.
And most people thought that it was a lost tape hit.
Yeah,
that
they
was
thought
done
it was
It was in style.
Yes.
Right.
And
If
the
we
sound.
would have had that right after Moon Out Tonight.
No, I understand.
Yeah, true.
Now, you brought up Nick. Unfortunately, we lost
Yes.
him. Can you talk a little bit about Nick?
Well, yeah, he, unfortunately, about 7 or 8 years ago, he wasn't feeling well. He was getting pains in his back, and I told him, Nick, go get checked, go for a checkup, because he really hadn't checked PSA and all the stuff like
Right.
that. But he finally went to the doctor, and the doctor checked him, he said, yeah, son, but I want to do a chest x-ray. Sure enough, did a chest x-ray. He had mesothelioma. So he decided to have the lung removed. And unfortunately, they gave him a lot of radiation, and it affected his other lung.
Gotcha.
The capacity in his other lung was down. So he had trouble breathing and moving around and walking, And this went on for 5 years.
Wow.
He hung on for 5. I mean, I guess one day he went to the doctor, came home, he laid down, and he passed away because his heart just couldn't take it anymore. And he passed away, unfortunately. But
He certainly was a wonderful man.
yeah, he great singer, great songwriter. He wrote a lot of good songs. I mean, we had a lot of songs that were never hits, but were great songs that he wrote.
And who are the members today?
Well, today we have Louis Esposito.
Yep.
He's our baritone and our guitar player. Been with us about 15 years or so.
15,
yeah. Tony Sergi, he's our drummer, first tenor.
Yep.
He's been with me about 28, 30 years, close to that.
Yep.
We have John Montfort, he's our bass.
Yep.
He was with the Impalas originally, and he's been with us about, 8, 9 years already, at least. And the newest member, Mr. Wayne Smith, is a lead singer. He's been with us about 4 years right now.
6 years.
What, 4 years?
A little over 5 years.
Okay.
5.5 years.
Right.
I haven't recorded.
And that's it, so we're,
How do you feel about performing today in front of the audience?
well,
today?
it's a little different, because when Nick's not there, I was with Nick for over 50 years,
Right.
and But, he does a great job.
Yep.
The background does a great job. So, we go out there, we do a good job. And,
Yeah.
and 90% of the time, we get a standing ovation. So,
Oh, yeah.
So it makes it worthwhile.
Well, it's a real honor to have you guys with us on our Doo Wop journey.
Thank
the
you.
Capris, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
There's a road out tonight. Let's go strolling. There's a girl in my heart. Whose heart I've stolen. There's a moon out tonight. Let's go strolling through the park. Ooh, there's a glow in my heart. I never felt before. There's a girl at my side. That higher tone. There's a glow in my heart. I never felt before.
We are real happy to have with us the premier a cappella group in the United States right now, Classic Sounds from Westchester County, New York. You guys just won an award. Tell me about it.
Well, we competed in Sing Strong in Chicago, which was the first year. It was in Chicago this year, and we won the Aka Idol competition. Previously, we had won Sing Strong DC's Aka Idol in 2010. So.
You must be the only two-time winners in the
We
world.
are. We are the only two-time Sing Strong Aka Idol winners in the world.
That is so great.
It is pretty cool.
And it's great to see you young guys keeping the music alive. Our TV show is called The Doo Wop Journey. How did your musical journey get underway?
Mine, I started first, I was on the handball courts, where a buddy of mine said to me, "Hey, Bobby, do this." Ooh. I says, "Come on." Ooh. And from there, we started with a little background, and we had a couple of songs, and we got a gig. We got paid $15 a night. Everybody did their own song 15 times. It was and then from there, the journey, that was from the 60s, and through that 50s, singing with the family, barbershop singing, anything with his music. It really does touch our souls.
Yeah, we sing everywhere.
And Gabe, how
Anywhere.
did you guys eventually get together?
Well, we all belong to a barbershop chorus, and Bob twisted my arm to join the chorus.
It didn't take much.
That's true, very true. But he got me into the chorus, and basically we all met and put a group together and had a nice blend. It was a great sound, and we've come a long way from those days, I have to tell you.
And let me ask you, as one of the newest members of the group, did you have any other groups that you looked up to, any musical idols in your past?
Larry Chance and the Earls, the Harp Tones, the Flamingos, Deanna and the Belmonts, all those different
All the
types
best.
of groups with that street corner harmony.
But we know your favorite, Willie Winfield. Absolutely.
I do like Willie.
Tops.
Let me ask you, how do you feel about performing now with the audiences being of all ages now?
I'm loving every minute of it. I feel it. Personally, I'm in my prime. I retired from teaching music for 35
Right.
years, and I'm busier than ever. And I'm enjoying the camaraderie with this group, and we get along great, and we have great reviews after our shows, so it's a lot of fun.
You just brought up an interesting topic. You retired from your job as a music educator.
Yes, sir.
So that was your full-time job. Let me just go down the line and see what your guys' full-time job was. I'm just nosy that way.
Plumbing and heating.
Okay.
I teach in the Bronx.
Culinary, I'm a chef.
Orthopedic surgeon.
Wow, that's pretty amazing.
A little bit of a
The
mix.
truth. Yeah.
Well, I want to congratulate you guys on your second, what is it again?
Aka Idol.
Aka Idol. That's phenomenal. Congratulations, and we look
Thank
forward to
you.
working with you guys, and we'll see you on our Doo Wop journey.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Hey, boy. Hey, boy.
I hope you're enjoying our amazing journey through the world of doo-wop music. I'm Cool Bobby B from Sirius XM and the 50s on 5. Join me every Sunday night from 9 to midnight with the doo-wop stop. And you want to find out about all the great, incredible live doo-wop performances that LAR Enterprises is bringing to you all over the world in the United States, there's one place to go, and that's the website. It's LARENTR.com. That's www.LARENTR.com. For LAR Enterprises, or just Google it, LAR Enterprises, and get all the info. Rob and Laura do an incredible job of bringing this incredible music to wherever you are. So come see us at one of our amazing live concerts. Just go to our website for the latest live concert information. It's LARENTR.com. We are real excited to have with us on our Doo Wop Journey TV show tonight, Tony Middleton and the Willows. Gentlemen, thanks for being with us.
Good to be here.
You know, we call our show the Doo Wop Journey. So, Tony, let me ask you, where did your musical journey get started?
114th and 115th and Lenox Avenue in 1951.
Really? Were you singing rhythm and blues at that time, or jazz? Or?
Rhythm and blues.
When you were, I guess, growing up at that point in time, did you have any groups or singers that you kind of looked up to as your idols?
Well, no, I was fighting all the time. So I really didn't recognize those guys out there. Only one guy, Sonny Till and the Orioles.
You're the second guy that mentioned him tonight.
And the Five Royals.
Okay. Okay. Now, you came into the Willows after they were already started, right? How did that happen?
Well, it happened because I was coming from the gym one day, and I saw these guys on the stoop singing, vocalizing, or whatever they were doing. And someone said to them, you know, this guy here can sing. Well, I didn't want to show him off, you know. I said, yeah, he's right about that. I said, yeah, I can sing a little bit. He said, so the guy said, well, why don't you join us and hang out and sing a song? Which I said, okay, and we did. And there was a song that I was interested in, and we started rehearsing that. And that was our first record.
I was just going to ask you, how did you get into the recording studio for the first time?
Well, because we were recording this thing, we must have recorded this daggone demo about 20, 30, or 100 times.
Wow.
More. And after that, because we did it on 111th Street, and that time, not a real vinyl, you know, they were tin, plastic.
Yep.
And so we got it together and we picked out that song, one song, and we took it down, went shopping on Broadway.
Okay, you went to different record companies?
Different companies. Went to Abbey Records, Pete Durain, and then he met up with some people and changed the label to Allen Records.
Yep.
And then some other stuff. But back in that day, it was completely different in the respect of what it is today. We were doing what we knew best. And so we got lucky. We used to sweep up the office and everything. It was, you know, like a storefront business.
Right.
But the guy named Pete Durain, he really helped us out for a while.
So you swept up the floor and you recorded in the for the same
Recorded,
people.
stayed there, rehearsed all night, and me, Richard,
Yeah.
and Ralph and Joe and
Yep.
Scooter. That's what we did.
Now, how did you come to make the big record, the big one?
Well, we kept on going until we tried to get a little bit ahead of ourselves because we needed a record. And we ran into Marty Kraft. And I said, Marty, we were looking for a date, you know, to record. So he said, oh, well, he says, right now I'm busy. I said, well, no, wait a minute. I says, I want you to hear the song. And we sung Church Bells May Ring to him. And he said, wow. He says, okay. Meet me upstairs or something. And the next thing we knew that we was in the studio with him.
Now, that was a big record. But how did you feel when another group came out and covered the record right away?
I didn't like it, the Diamonds. And the manager became my manager after that.
How'd that happen?
Because he met me and he liked me and he says, okay, Tony, he said, how much you gonna do something for you and blah, 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 this and this. There's a whole lot of crap went on, but he didn't do nothing for us. But he tried to,
Right.
but he couldn't.
Now, over the years, you became quite a celebrated jazz singer, and I believe you had a career in Europe as well. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, well, I went to France because I did a lot of Broadway. I did Free and Easy in Paris. And Quincy is the one that picked me for the job when I walked in the studio that day. And he said, "Oh, that's the guy," before he asked the question.
Wow.
And asked me to sing a song. I sung a song, "You Need to Move." I did a spin, you know. And when that happened, he said, "Okay, we'll call you later." So he called me, and I had the job.
And you've been in other Broadway shows since.
I did the lead in Cabin in the Sky
Yeah.
off Broadway at Greenwich Music Theater.
Yeah.
And I did a very good job in that because I was with Kitty Lester and
Right.
Rosetta Noir, you know, I mean, really, really good actors and actresses.
Now, who's in the group today?
In our group,
The Willows.
My friend here, Mr. Bob, shut up, don't say a word. Richard Green.
Richard?
And my man, now don't say a word, they got me stuck on this.
He's got me quiet.
Bill
all the time.
Prom.
That's right.
And this is my son that I want to cut his neck many times. And I wish I could get that thing off his face.
But he's got some tremendous dancing ability, doesn't he?
He has dancing ability, and he's a funny guy because he don't say nothing.
That's great. Now, let me ask you this, because you talked back, starting back on Allen Records back in those days, all the way up to today. How does it feel to keep performing today?
It feels great because I ran into you. My God, and you've been very nice to us.
Thank you.
And, you know, that's another brainstorm again. You did it again. What's your name?
Cool Bobby B.
Cool Bobby B. See, I'm not too good with names. I think
Coolest
it's
on the planet.
Did I tell you? He never says nothing. And you've been on the trips that we went on together. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, I appreciate you guys coming on the Doo Wop Journey. Legendary group known as Tony Middleton and the Willows.
Yes.
Thank you very
Come
much.
see me. Come
Right,
see
thank
me.
you. I'll be big
Come see me.
always.
Okay. It is a great honor to have on our Doo Wop Journey TV show today, Maurice Williams. Maurice, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
You're one of the guys that has never stopped performing.
Oh, no.
We call our show the Doo Wop Journey because what we try to do is kind of go back to the beginning and find out where your musical roots started and how you got into the business. So how did things go for you?
Yeah, well, I started in church.
Okay.
You know, and I was a little tight. And then I went to school, and I was in the Glee Club. And Mrs. Sample said, asked me and some other guys, had we ever thought about starting a group? And we told her no. And we started out of the Glee Club.
Okay.
And I called the group the Royal Charms. We all played, I played keyboards, and my friend played sax, and another guy played guitar, another guy played drums. And we started the group called the Royal Charms.
This is back in school.
Yeah, I was like about 16, something like that, 16, 15.
That's great. How did you make the jump from that into the recording studio with the Gladiolas?
Well, there was a show out of Nashville, a radio show on WLC.
WLAC?
WLAC, and had John Richburg. So I called over there, and he set me up an interview with Ernie Young, Nashville Records.
Gotcha.
And so I went over there to do audition, me and my guys. And he liked the songs we had. And he really loved Little Darling that I had wrote. And he took that and we recorded it. And he changed the name to the Gladiolos.
Gotcha.
Because he liked flowers, he say.
Okay.
So we said, okay, it's cool. We just want to make a record.
And it's a great record.
Oh, it proved itself.
How did you feel later when it was covered by the Diamonds?
I felt great. I felt really good. By them being on Mercury, they had better recording equipment than he did.
Gotcha.
And they record sounded clear, and it sounded better, and the arrangement was good. You know, usually use my arrangement. And I thought it was the greatest thing ever happened. You know?
You guys performed together a lot, it seems like, you and Dave Somerville.
Yeah, now we do.
That's
after
great.
we met. Back then, we didn't know each other. Of
Right.
course. Yeah, but after we got together, we started doing it.
You know, there's a lot of records in the record books, like this, that, and the other, who did #1 and so forth and so on. But you hold the record for the shortest #1 record of all time,
Yeah,
Stay. How did that
right.
come about?
Well, it's a short. Our recording manager at the time, Al Silver, out of New York, I had Harold Ember Records, and he said, make it short so we can get more airplay.
Oh, okay. So it was a marketing thing, sort of.
Yeah, it was. And he said, sing it flat. I sang it one time, and the producers took it to him, and he sent it back and said these things. He'd make the song shorter and sing the song flat so the average man and the street may sing along.
Well, that was very smart.
And I said, okay, but when you're talking to some kids out of the Glee Club, and we've been taught to sing in key, that sounded terrible. So I had to do something because I wanted him to do it. So I did Stay, and the flat part on it is the intro when I go, the keyboards are dum dum dum, stay. Nah, that's the flat part. Other than that, it's straight.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
I got to ask you this, because you've managed to go all the way from really rhythm and blues to doo-wop to pop music into beach music. How have you been able to sort of evolve throughout the years? You've done a good job at it.
Well, I just write songs, and you guys say what kind of music it is. I just write them.
Yeah.
And got a lot of covers, fortunately.
Yep.
You know, and it turns it into pop music, whatever. You know?
Well, how does it feel to come out on stage now in front of the crowd that wants to see the old doo-wops?
Oh, fantastic! It's a great uplifting to write something and somebody still loves it after all these years.
Yep.
You know, that's a blessing, and it's a beautiful feeling. It really is.
We want to congratulate you, and we want to thank you for being part of our TV show, too.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, sir.
All righty.
Thank you. Please, tell me you're going to do it. Now your daughter don't mind, and your mommy don't mind.
I got to thank you, Rob. That was a fantastic show.
Yes, it was, Bobby, and I'm so glad we have the opportunity to bring this great music, this doo-wop journey, to everybody.